Here we go.
Mute yourself, Shannon. We're close.
You ladies ready?
Hey, you already know who it is. It's Curves, and the Queendom. We are here doing Queen Talk today. Y'all already know me. I go by Curves, also known as Gigi Kells. I'm sorry, Gigi Real Talk on Instagram as well as TikTok and YouTube. And I'm gonna let all the other ladies introduce themselves. We got a lot of different flavors in the building tonight. I'm gonna pass it over to Miss Kelly Connections. Tell them where they can.
Hi, I'm Kelly. You can find me Kelly Connections on every platform. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything in my country accent. You can find me there. Oh, you didn't like that?
Okay.
Did we find you in Alabama? Because
You
what
can
the
find
hell?
me in Alabama shucking some corn and picking some apples.
And Mike is some pig feet.
No, I don't do pork.
Right.
I'll do corn and apples.
Do you
Yeah.
make chitterlings? I heard, hey, Miss Queen Mother at the bottom look like she can make some good old chitterlings.
Mm. I've heard
Oh,
them.
no.
No.
Never.
All right, let's
No.
down the
But
lady.
she can put her foot in something.
Mm. Yes,
She
she
can
can.
cook. She can
Hold
burn some pans.
athlete's foot. Oh,
We're trying to get her to open up a soul food restaurant, y'all. So maybe the chat, maybe our queens can convince her.
Please, her food is so good. What do you guys call that? Bussin'?
call it slap your mama good. Because if I taste it and I consider slapping my mama, one time my mama made food so good I wanted to slap her. She almost got herself slapped by making something so good because she is my mama.
That sounds like I would never cook for
Sounds
you
pretty
again.
dangerous.
I would never cook for you.
All right. I'm
What's up, Lady Iris?
Kelly Connection likes to call me Lady Iris. So Lady I in the building. You can find me at Iris Blooms 29 on Instagram. And yeah, shout out to the fam.
Kelly, Queen Mother, the Queen Mother. Please introduce yourself. Tell them how important you are to the community.
That's got mommy throwing her head.
I have been named Queen Mother. I guess that's better than Kiki. I put that up because it was your dad's nickname for me.
Oh, that's
I thought that was.
sweet.
You don't have to change it. It's fine.
I don't know why when I hear Kiki, I always think Drake. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding?
I know it is cute.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Do you love me? Are you riding?
You're so foolish. You're foolish.
Yes, I love you.
No, are you
Aww.
riding?
Silly girl.
Okay, Curves, back to you.
Curves.
Well, why are we back to me? I've already introduced myself.
Oh, because you're running the show tonight.
Oh, but you're
We need
hitting.
that. We need
all-
that curve. We need that curvy connection. That curvy flavor. Forget Kelly connection. We need a curvy connection.
We need to know what the topics are.
Oh, great! Boom! I actually have the banners to pull up. So last episode, I don't know if any of you watched. I hope you all did. I hope you joined us for the first part of 8 types of love, and we went over the first 4 types. And this episode, we're going to be going over the last 4 types. It was a really lengthy show, and we didn't want to pack all of that goodness into one show. So we had to break it up for you. Let's give you a little something.
Part 2.
A little taste,
Part 2.
a little taste last week, and this week we're going to give you the rest. Okay, so who wants to go first? Because I'll go ahead and pop your love language up there, and you can start. Who wants to go? Volunteers? Anyone volunteers?
The
Tribute.
queen.
Oh, well,
What was your love? What love did you study out?
Okay, it was pragma. And
Pragma.
hoping I am pronouncing that correctly.
Can I just start out by saying, did anybody else know that there was 8 types of love?
I knew there were quite a few. Your dad did a teaching on the types of
He
love.
did. That's the only reason I knew, because Dad's
So what I'm
teachings.
curious is, so there are 5 types of love, right? The 5 love languages, right? So now
That's
types of love because every decade they add an extra 3. So 10 years from now, you can expect it to be how many types of love? Who's good at math?
okay.
13.
So this is separate from the 5 love languages. This like goes back to
Ancient.
ancient time, where the Greeks had literally specified the different types of love. Americans, we have like I'm in love. We have like I love things. I love this shirt. I love this food. But there are other cultures that have other words to explain the expression of love or the type of love. So this is a type of love. So these are like I'll say categories or in a sense of types of love that the Greeks um, noted and it was passed down. But I think in American culture, we have kind of like absorbed it into just one word, but they had many words to describe not only the type of love, but also here's the wording. And like you said, there's 8 types, which is
What would
pretty
be the difference
insane.
between the 5 love languages and this one?
So the 5 love languages are how someone feels loved. So like if mine's are
How they
words,
receive love.
yeah. So my love language is words of affirmation. So I feel love when you express it to me verbally. That is different from a type of word. So like for example, in session one, the Queen Mother, she went over familial love, which was storage. So when they were talking about like the love of a sibling, they would say storage versus I love you. It was this type of love. And then you talked about eros. So you don't love your spouse the same way you love your
Your
sister.
sister.
With
Yeah.
different types of love, or the way you love a friend is not the same way you love a spouse. So this is the different, so different categories of love
Categories.
versus how you feel loved. Does that make sense?
Or how you receive love. To
How
me,
you
love language is how you receive love. For example, I'm time spent. So you can give me gifts all day and it's nice. I'll be grateful. I'll appreciate them. But if you don't spend time with me or like say quality time, it doesn't have to be all the time. I won't feel that connection of love. So that is how I receive love. And I could receive my love language can be received from all different these categories. Like that familial love, I can if my sister spends time with me, I feel loved. Or the romantic love, eros love, if my significant other spends time with me, then I feel love. I'm receiving that love language from them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so mom, you're gonna go over pragma, the
Yes.
enduring, the love that lasts.
Yes. Pragma is an enduring love. It's committed, passionate love that often grows as two partners continue to cherish and care for each other. It is associated with being together for a long time. Over the years, your commitment is based on, for me, over the years, your commitment is based on choice, not just how you feel, because your feelings can change. For me and your father, we didn't always feel loving, but our love for each other never changed because it was on a deeper level. And, we looked at each other when we first got married and said, divorce is not an option. So we knew that if things got rough, we would find other options to make it work. Were there rough times? Of course there was. But our love and commitment to each other did not change. I chose to love him whether he was making me happy or not. And like and love are two different things. I didn't always like
Mm,
him, but I always loved him.
that's crazy.
There were times where, you know, he didn't make me so happy. I didn't always like him, but my love for him never changed because he was a tough one. but he
So
was
can you
also
uh,
extremely genuine,
can you explain,
extremely real. What's
Mom?
that? Yes.
Can you explain to the audience what that looks like?
Because that's
Um,
real, and that
love
doesn't happen anymore.
though you may not like them in the like in that current moment, like how you.
Well, see, he was very, very direct and real. So let's say you were being hypocritical. You know, you were acting one way outside and come home and act a different way. Well, he was not a hypocritical person. So he was the first person to tell. You know, that's hypocritical, right? And I would go, it was like stop the record. What do you mean hypocritical? He was also, let's say he's the type, all of you guys could attest to this. He was a wordsmith. He loved the English language. He loved the English language to be spoken correctly, and you would enunciate the words correctly. And it used to grate on him if you used a word out of context or used it wrong, or pronounced it wrong. He wasn't stinky about it, he was just a stickler. And he did not like you using repetition with the same word. So, for instance, at one point, I used to love the word major. Oh, this was majorly good, majorly, and it was a habit. And he said, "You
No.
sure? You sure use that word a lot?" I'm like, "No, I don't." So I started like paying more attention. While I totally erased that word from my vocabulary, so I wouldn't make a mistake to overuse it.
Not just that dude pulled out
Well,
a thesaurus on you. Like, these are
oh,
other words you could use instead of major.
oh yeah. He would give you other to the point where look, my little grandson, I remember him walking up, your son, walking up and he would say, "Papa, what is camouflage?" He's like 2 or 3. What are you talking about camouflage? He would have him pronounce it and give him the definition. And within that week, he was using it in a sentence. So,
And
yeah.
now he's a wordsmith, and he corrects me on. He's so snarky with it too.
Little Papa.
Mm.
So, over time, I saw my commitment as an investment, you know, and when you invest in something, you do expect a return. But with him, the return was always great benefits that couldn't even be measured monetarily or any other way. Um, when I needed him, he was always there to have my back and look after me. I always felt safe and secure. When the man prayed, things moved, things happened. Um, I always felt we didn't always have everything, but I had everything
Amen.
I
because
want
it may have taken time, but I always had what I needed. So when he became ill, I was there for him. In and out of the hospital, I became his caregiver. There was a time in my life where I was on bed rest and I couldn't get up. I was pregnant and I could only go to the bathroom and come back to bed. And I would be a mess when he got home. I don't want to be too graphic. That man would make sure you guys all ate, homework was done, you were bathed in bed after working all day. Come up, scoop me up, put me in the bathtub, cleaned me off, freshened me up, put fresh clothes on me, cleaned my bed, gave me fresh linens, and laid me back down. So when he became ill, that was an investment. What I had to do for him, which was embarrassing, and I was the only one he felt comfortable to allow to do certain things for him. I never ever wanted him to ever feel like he was disgusting or it was a burden because he never did that to me. So that's what I'm talking about relationship commitment. you invest. That's why I don't understand when couples, they put like 5, 10 years. And I remember going through the years, there were like 10 years, and I'm going, I wouldn't want to start this over again with anybody else. I don't know why people want to jump ship where I've already invested 10 years. I already pretty much know this person. But as after he got ill, let me tell you, I learned way more about him. So you don't ever just get to just, oh, I know this man. Oh, I know this woman. If they're growing and developing, you should be still learning more about them, you know?
So I have
So
too many questions.
was finish my thought. He had invested so much in me year after year after year that it was an honor to be there for him when he needed me the most. So I remember, if you want a word picture, and it's a little skewed because, it didn't happen within the confines of a stayed together marriage. The Lord blessed us that we were married 37 years. It flew by. But the movie, Diary of the Mad, what is it? Mad Black Woman, um, where she helped him build his empire. She not only loved him, but she loved and respected who he was and what he had built. So when he lost his mind and kicked the real woman out and grabbed hold to the gold digger, um, when he fell upon hard times and was sitting in an empty house by himself, she was the one that came back and began to care for him. Of course, she was angry and dunked him in the tub first and almost drowned him. That was her
My
moment of
goodness.
vengeance, but she got over it quick. And her true love, that love that is like deep in the surface, stepped up. And all she could think of is this human being that I said that I would invest my life into. She no longer had that eros love for him, but she had that long lasting love for him because that never dies. She no longer, that ship had sailed. He had violated her love and trust. So she didn't want to be with him, but she could not see him not being cared for, not being well taken care of, because that love that goes deeper than how I feel today was always there. And she made sure she brought him back to his family, her family, and made sure he was embraced because he had no one else. So that's a real love, which unfortunately society has lost sight of, with the
Yeah.
exception of, you know, I would like to say the Christian world, because God is love. So you don't know what true love is without his perspective. And he gives you the ability to not only understand, but to receive and also know how to properly love people. That's
That's
what
good.
I got.
So I have so many
That's
questions.
good.
Why? Like,
Who
how?
said that?
I did. So
Oh,
Kelly.
how is this possible? How is this possible? In a world where the trial marriage is a thing, okay, this one doesn't work, I'm just gonna try the next one. This one doesn't work, I'm gonna try the next one. This one doesn't work, I'm on my third time's the charm. No, it's not, I'm on my fourth. So in the world of trial marriages, how do you experience pragma love? How is that possible? People aren't even sticking around to even get to that point where you do love someone, that endurance. Like they don't even endure past the first year anymore.
yeah.
Like the slightest thing, oh, there's a hiccup in the road and then they're done. How?
You have to pray. You have to pray and hope that the right one, you, as you're walking your path, your journey, you will run into him.
But
That's
so
that,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to wrap my head around. You said I loved him even when I didn't like him. When I don't like somebody, I stare at them. I'm like, I see everything ugly about them. I'm like, stupid big head and
because there's a love that's deeper than my like level. When I have that I don't like you too much, then you just go find space, give each other space, and you pray, with my heart so I can continue to love him. Well, you also, with men, you have to have a proper distinction of what love is, because men read love by respect.
Yeah.
Women are the ones who want the love. And I never had a question about him genuinely loving me. It took me a minute to learn how to fully I can't even say I fully appreciate him, because he was like a total gem. Perfect man, no, but he was a gem. um Very, very unique person. From the time I met him, I knew he was unique. um but yeah, you have times where you just don't. Okay, let's put it on your child. You always love him, but you don't always like what he does. You're able to separate the two.
yeah, but I see that love is different. I think that's more of like the familial love because like that person came out of my body. I birthed him, I carried him. He is a part of my DNA. A husband is someone that I chose to integrate my life with. I don't have to
Nah,
stay with you.
scripturally,
There's nothing that keeps us together other than this paper.
that's if you honor the scriptures. Scripturally, the scripture says the two become one. So God does melt you together.
Oh,
Mm.
so when you get married, you literally think that's like a brother, sister, like that's your family now. Like that, like you can't, how you can't what's the word? Disown your family. Like they're always gonna be your family. That's how you feel about your husband. Like you could never
Not
disown him.
family, no. He literally takes one human being, another human being, and makes one human being. You guys are joined.
Mm.
That's good.
The two become one. That even to the point where there's times where you take on each other's characteristics. So you can build on uh, his strengths, and he can build on your strengths.
So how come people don't take marriage more seriously? Why is it such a flippant
Because they don't fully
activity?
understand it. They said, I
It's
forgot
the
where I
covenant.
just, your dad used to, I wrote this in a comment in your last one. Your dad used to say people spend more time planning the wedding than preparing for the marriage.
He did say that.
And, there's another minister, I want to say it was Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe, who said that anything you fail in is because there is an ignorance or a lack of understanding. So if you're failing, it means that you need to gain more information and understanding in that subject matter. So if you're failing
Yep.
in marriage, you're lacking something. You're lacking some information. Sometimes failing in marriage is just somebody's being selfish or immature. And your dad used to say that if in a couple, if there's one individual that's mature, y'all can make it.
Yeah.
You just have to pray that the other one grows up. But you had two big babies,
Now I know all my
Right, Curves?
two
Right,
big
Curves? You in a
babies.
relationship.
Because, I mean, think about when you see kids. Now, I'm the biggest and the best. Now, I'm more important. That's two kids, two immature people. You have to have somebody that's adult enough to say, let's put a pin in this. We're not agreeing right now. Let's find a place of agreement and then move on from here. And we'll just go back and revisit this when we're actually hearing each other. Because,
Yeah.
when you have two people being immature and you're in your feels, you're not even hearing each other. You're
That's
saying,
true.
spouting words at each other, and nobody is actually hearing each other. So the verbiage is counterproductive, other than I just got a chance to let what was bothering me out. Well, what's the point? Nobody really heard you or understood. You just got a chance to spout.
Well, I do thank you for bringing your marriage perspective. Especially, you actually had a long lasting marriage. So you are the perfect person to speak on this particular type of love. Thank you for all your wisdom and knowledge. I hope people can utilize it. I'm gonna let Curves go next because I think she may have to bow out early this show. Which one what was your love?
This one is in regards to deep friendship.
Oh, the love between friends, Philea.
Exactly. So, um, what I believe a deep friendship is listening. I think a lot of times people they don't really they listen to respond and not so much to actually hear the person out. So I think a part of being a really good friend is actually hearing the person and also getting to know them outside of them just being your friend, like getting to know them as a human. So like I look at my closest friends, not just as my friends, but like as humans, like you're a mom, you're a sister, you're an employee. Like I just look at all aspects of things and like really try to consider what they're going through. And that's how I'm being best at like that. And also like another important thing of like having a deep friendship is being able to be honest with them and transparent. Like I think a lot of times people have friends who just like they're never real with them. You know, you're never gonna sit your friend down and be like, "Hey, these are ways to improve your life," or girl, you don't need to be doing that. Like a lot of times, people are just like they're rooting their friends on instead of really taking the time to like give your friend like that hard, raw truth. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, and it's not even the easiest position to be in. But I feel like a real friend is gonna like just be real with your friend. So and then also like creating an atmosphere where your friend can feel. I think a lot of times people try to put on for their friends. They want to put up a certain facade, like I have my life together, I'm this and that. You got some people who are like that instead of like really feeling comfortable and you setting up an atmosphere where your friend could be real, like, hey, I'm down bad right now. Like I'm not really good. I'm not good. Like I was looking all amped up and good on Instagram, but in reality, like I'm really struggling right now. You know what I mean? Like being able to create an atmosphere where your people around you feel like they can be open with you because they know you're going to be empathetic and understanding of what they're going through. And I can only speak on this simply because I do believe that I'm a good friend. Like anybody I love, like I really do love you and I got you. And I will be that friend that comes and turns things up with you at 3 a.m. in the morning. Um, you know, if need be. So, um, that's what I have on it.
Can I read this because when I was reading over Philia, I think that's how you pronounce it. I was actually shocked because it says the Greek philosopher Plato thought the philia was an even greater love than eros, and it was the strongest loving relationship, where even stronger than eros. What? They said the friendship love was stronger than the romantic love. What do you got to say about that?
Are you gonna go into it or?
No, I was just reading that because I was reading like all the different types of love just so I kind of had an idea of what they were. And I was like, how is that one was stronger? But I guess if you think about the biblical term, is greater love uh, have no one that they would lay down their life for a friend. So I guess if you love your friend enough to die for them, that is a greater love than romantic love. So yeah, just thought that
Yeah.
was cool.
And if you think about just Jonathan and David in the Bible, their friendship was one that made it obviously in scripture. But in Samuel, it talks about Samuel 1, it talks about where, or First Samuel, where it says that Jonathan became one in spirit with David and he loved him as himself. Like they had such, and it even says that modern scholars have described it as philia, or aphilia. If I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me, that their love was just the one where he literally laid down his life. They laid down their you they I feel like they had such a connection that
They
They
like almost
thought of
traded
each other as
places.
like brothers, you know, that kindred spirit. I don't think they saw like it, they probably felt like almost they had a blood bond, like as we feel like it's with sisters. But it's like they say, you know, friends are family that you choose. And there are some friends. My parents have had some close friends for over 40 years, and we see them like they're our real aunts and uncle. You know, they have literally built that healthy, strong friendship bond. And not only do they were good friends to our parents, but their kids and just how they have loved and appreciated and incorporated us into their community as family too.
But also think about some of the relationships that actually have lasted or still are going on. They're friends,
Yeah,
or they were friends before it developed into a romantic love. And if they
that's
were
true.
able to maintain that friendship, because there is, I don't care if you're with each other for a very long time, there is or can become a time where eros may not even be a factor, where there's things happen to people's bodies or sicknesses or whatever the reason, and that compassionate love will be there, but that friendship is what will keep that relationship moving forward.
Exactly. I'm in
Yeah.
agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. And that's I think that's what you want in an eros relationship long term. You want to grow old and great with that person. You want a friend at the beginning, you want a friend at the end, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
So I will do mine. Now my second one was Ludus, playful love, and I don't know why when I thought of this initially I thought like I don't know, like a tickle, like I love you, I love you. It
but
is way worse than that. Okay. Yes. Pretty much. I feel like this, like the society is now like has been seduced by the ludus love.
oh wow.
Yeah, ludus is a Latin origin. It's not Greek. It means game or play. This is a playful, non-committal love.
Mm.
Ludus covers things like flirting, seduction, and casual sex.
Oh wow.
In the Latin translation, when you use the word ludus, they knew it meant love as a game.
Mm.
In today's time, friends with benefits would probably be defined as ludus love. If
Yeah.
someone is looking to just have fun and be casual, and they may even look at sex as a prize versus intimate. I
Wow.
would say that we are living in a ludus culture, and oh my gosh, doesn't that
True.
sound like relationships of today? Like, nothing
I want to
serious.
say this is ludicrous.
Ludicrous. That's actually like part of the word ludicrous. Is ludus. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I was like, dang, they had this going on back then. How? This is crazy. It's literally like nothing serious. It's a situationship. It's whatever. We're just chilling. We're just talking. Nothing for real. And it's like, how do you even know if you're boyfriend or girlfriend anymore? I feel like back in the day, we go together. But now it's like, you can do it with the person. Y'all can be intimate. You're like, wait, we're not serious. We're just chilling. We're just hanging out. How? You did the most intimate act with a person and you're just chilling? It's not that serious. I feel like we need to get out of the ludus society and get back into the playa and the agape, which we haven't got to yet. But yeah, that real love, real true love. And that actually makes me wonder because I was actually on my other show with Alex. We talked about whether or not the opposite sex can be friends. But now hearing that philia is stronger than eros, I can now see why men don't like their women to be friends with other men, or women don't like their husbands or boyfriends to be friends with other women, because that bond is technically stronger. You like that person without being physical. You just like them for them. And I can see how that could possibly have a fear of it growing into something more.
Yeah.
Especially since that
Mm-hmm.
love is like more stronger than arrows. Okay, that's all I have on Ludus. What do you have next, darling? Okay.
I think the ludus is probably like the polar opposite to the next one I have, which is agape love, because it's the
Yeah.
high. It's supposed to be the highest form of love. It's supposed to be like that eternal love. That when I always thought about agape love, it's like the love that one a parent has for a child, like it's unconditional. And this is, I know not everybody has great parents, but if you have a parent that like really, really, really loves your kid, it doesn't matter what they come to you with. It could be the best thing, could be the worst thing. You're still gonna love them through that moment, through their errors, through their silly moments, silly mistakes. Every kid makes them, even their serious moments. Uh, so for me, it's like this love covers, it covers sin, it covers mistakes, it covers problems, it covers issues. Um, and they even said, one of the ways that it could be, I guess, manifest as something that we can see here on earth. It's going out of one's way to help one's neighbor, and creating a caring community, focusing on simulators between people rather than their differences, treating others with kindness even when they're strangers. In Christianity, it's loving God selflessly and God loving you selflessly. Um, it said that the term dates back to the time of Plato around the 15th century. It was used in some ancient Greek writings, but it's more commonly associated with Christian New Testament. Define agape is just selfless, unconditional, often universal love. So this is something that
Is agape the love
when
that
I
Jesus had when he died on the cross?
for sure,
That would be
sure,
the agape love.
definitely what he did was an eternal internal act. Excuse me, it was internal change with us, but an eternal act for man. And if anything, probably incorporated. It definitely incorporated the agape love, but if anything, the agape love to me is the Father's love to give His only Son, um, to this world that was broken, and a chance and an opportunity for us to one day be reconciled to Him and for us to spend an eternity with Him. So I any parent that I've ever spoken to about this can never see themselves in that place where God gave His only begotten Son to the world. I've never heard a parent be like, "Yeah, I would have did the same thing God would have done. I would definitely sent my Jesus or my kid, to be the savior of a world, of a
The
broken
only other
world."
person I saw do that was Abraham. He was also a dude in the Bible, and he didn't even have to go through with it, but he was willing to. But
And he didn't want to. Like, let's be real, he
let
was,
my son
but
be
he did.
tortured for you people? No, I'm sorry, y'all going to hell. Mm-mm. Nope. I'm not gonna give him away knowing
uh,
what God knew Jesus was gonna go through. I could not, absolutely not, hand over my child. I don't care how he could have been 70 and on his deathbed. I'm not giving him up for the cause. Nope. The world will
and I
perish.
think most parents feel the same way.
I
And
couldn't.
another
What
piece,
Mary went through, I still cry when I watch the Passion of the Christ. That moment where Jesus had dropped the cross and he fell, and then Mary saw him and she ran to him like how when he was a little boy and she picked him up and dusted him and she was like, "It's okay, baby." And she had a flashback when her grown man son fell with the cross. I literally cry every single time. Like I'm thinking to myself, like as a mom, like nope, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, "Y'all better get off of Jesus! Get off Jesus! Get off my son! Don't touch him! You have to go through me." There's no
you're really living this scene out. I love it.
because as a mother, as a mother, I could not. I don't care how old he is. He's still my baby. I couldn't watch that. I don't even like my son got in a fight last year, and I didn't like that. He didn't even get cut. He didn't know was no bleeding. I could not imagine. Oh, whew.
Yeah.
Mary, God is a good one
Girl, you're getting all hot and bothered.
because as a mother, like I mean, the passion of a mother. You know what I'm saying?
But it does say that agape love is a sacrificial love that unites and heals. And like you said, this is the kind of love we see. I think one of my favorite stories in the Bible is the one about the prodigal son. which definitely is very similar to what we see in the New Testament. Um, where and I always loved it because our true parents, they don't and okay, I feel like I was blessed with good parents, so please forgive if you did not have a great relationship with your parent, and this is not the same situation that you were in. Please understand my heart. I'm trying to say that the true love of a parent that loves you unconditionally, they truly they care more about you being reconciled. They care more about you being restored than about the act that was committed. If you look at the prodigal son, like he went and wasted his inheritance, he partied it up. Before you know it, this man was like literally eating like pig pods, pig slop. And then he was like, "What am I doing here? Like, I have a father that I can go back to. I have a house. I don't have to be out here on these streets. Like, what am I doing?" And the father could have greeted him and scolded him. He could have literally just been like, "You know what? You lost all this money. You wasted time. This, that, and the other." Instead, this man greets him with a robe. He puts on a feast for him. The only person that had a problem with the whole situation was his brother. But he literally was more excited that instead of him being lost, now he's found. And I think that's the true heart of agape love. What you care about is the overall, to me, like restoration and healing and progress of your kid. Like, you care about that. Yes, they might need to learn a life lesson. Yes, you might have to give them some wisdom, understanding about those situations. I'm not saying don't parent. But what I'm trying to say is, when your kid is lost and they come back and you see them progressing and moving back into where they're supposed to be in life, like, your kid has potential, they have greatness inside of them. You want to see them thrive. You want to see them do well in this life. But there's certain things that pull some people off track. And when you see those people move back on the right track and they're restored and they're doing well, I feel like that's something to celebrate, and that's what I feel like a true agape love is. Seeing that healing and seeing that person be reunited, maybe with their family or with loved ones or whatnot, um, and growing and moving forward. That's what's important. Loving people past what their issues, the problems, everything that you may see, and knowing that, like, sometimes there's this man, he works for the 700 Club, Mr. Gordon Robinson. He said he had a season where he was like that prodigal son. He was out there on the streets. He was living a wild life, and I asked him, because I had some family members that were going through a lot at that time,
I
and I
just got
asked him, I was
that.
like, I said, how do you, I said, how, what made you, like, kind of get back on track, and what, he's like, to be honest, he goes, my mom just loved me. He said she literally loved me through every, like, up and down. And I just was thinking, I thought he was gonna give me like maybe there was an intervention and maybe, this, that, and the other, because he had like a rough moment in his life. And you know, he's like, my mom just loved me. She, like, loved me so much. Like, it helped bring him back, to, getting him back on track where he was supposed to be in life. And he ended up taking over, like, the family business. And, I think from what I know, he's still at the helm right now, running the broadcasting network. And, um, but his mom could have taken those opportunities and just scolded him or told him, like, all the bad things he was doing. Instead, she, like, loved him until he moved
Came
back
to
into
his
where he was supposed to be. Say that again.
came to his senses
Yeah.
because he was raised and he knew it was right, but
Yeah.
part of him was like, I can do it different, I can do it better. But
Yeah.
she loved him past all of that.
Yeah.
And really that is a godly heart, because it does extend past even your family members. There's times there are people out there who never had the opportunity to even experience love. They don't know what it's like to have a mom nurture them, a dad, be strong but discipline in love. And
No,
when
I'm
I say discipline, I mean just hold accountable
Yeah.
to what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
And it brings a sense of security to a, not just a child, but to a person. So it can't be,
Excuse
and
me.
there's times where you have to care for people who are outside of your family, who they're a mess because they just didn't have that. They just didn't.
Yeah.
And at some time in their life, they need to experience somebody who's going to love them past their ugliness,
Yeah.
and
And I
I'm not
think you guys
talking
did
about
that with the
features. I'm
foster
talking about,
kids.
You know,
yeah.
and it was funny. I was actually talking junk about my parents today at work. I was like, talking about my parents were so strict. Like there was so much we couldn't do. Like I remember my parents would even tell us what kind of friends we were allowed to have. I was like, my mom, like I would come home and she'd be like, "You're acting different. Are you hanging out with someone new at school? You have a new friend?" and and I would be like, yeah. Like she just moved here from New York, we're best friends. And she's like, yeah, you can't hang out with her anymore. And then the girl at work was like, wow, that must have been great. I wish I could know what that felt like.
Wow, really?
I was like, for your mom to tell you can't have friends? She was like, just to
That's
have
not what she said.
just
You're
to
going to
have
exaggerate.
just to have parents that were present.
Wow.
Shane, we told
Wow.
the same story about mom on the same day. I literally told a coworker about the same exact thing. And she said
Really?
the same exact response. She goes, like, she thought that was such a good parental just understanding, like being so aware of your kid and their personality and how you raise them and the good things you put in them. And when they start to kind of change and vary, that's like being, like you said, being a present parent. That's good parenting when you notice, like, hey, here's the morals and values that I instilled in you, and you're not acting like yourself. And I remember mom used to literally be like, you said we were not to have friends. It's not true. We had friends, but what she said was either you influence them to
Oh yeah,
become like to make good
influences.
choices, or you're gonna go ahead and you have to like change your friends because why? Because you don't want them to change who you are. So you either be a good influence on them, but don't allow them to influence you negatively. And I was grateful for that because you have to learn how to stand for what you believe in when you get older too. You think it's going to change just when you get out of school? No. You
Yeah.
have to know who you are in your job. You have to know, like, okay, listen, I've had people literally be like, talk about the boss, come on, we just want to hear you. I'm like, why? That's not how I am. That's not who I am. If I have issues or concerns with the boss, I'm gonna meet with them privately and talk about it. I'm not gonna be over here wasting time chit chatting and shooting the breeze with you guys about for what? It's not gonna change anything. If I have a real issue, I need to talk to them about it. They're the only one that can change the situation.
Mhm.
So
That's
so
exactly
no.
right. That's exactly
Yes.
right.
I
And
was
at the
looking at
end
them
of the
like,
day, they
nah.
probably just wanted you to gossip, so they had something on you. Well, I
Yeah,
was
I don't have
talking
time for that. I
Yeah.
have too much I have too much time that I need to invest in what
at
I'm
the end of the
doing.
day, I don't even have time for gossip and drama because the only time I will
No.
gossip is on a show. But at the end of the day, I don't really care about everybody else's personal life. I have too much stuff going on in my own life to care about gossiping about someone else's life. That tells me, like, do y'all have nothing else going on? Like, nothing? You talking about other people? Like, other people's drama is now consuming you. I have stuff going on. I don't
No.
care. I don't
I'd
care.
rather build people up. I don't want to tear people down. That's not
True. Well, they said that, you know how they have a
They're
saying
probably
now,
playing a video game.
be uniquely you. And but back in the day when you guys were younger, I just wasn't for someone changing y'all's character, your personality. If you're around somebody who is dreary and all of a sudden you're walking around with your face hanging, that wasn't that's not your personality. Your personality is bubbly and joyful. And so either you spread that joy and bubbliness on them, don't let that dreariness attach to you.
Is that what you recently just did for me, Mom?
I don't know. Did I?
Y'all pulled me out of the fiery clinches of depression.
She she's been giving these good pep talks lately. Yeah, I want a good
Really?
pep talk. Call the Queen Mother.
So it wasn't that I didn't want you guys to have friends or was looking for your friends to be perfect. I didn't want your personalities to be molded by other people.
But you even did that in
You already had your personality, and I didn't want it to. You know how children, when they hang around, they think somebody's cool, and so they start acting like that person. It's like,
Yeah.
no, if I was supposed to have Timmy in my family, I would have given birth to Timmy. You be you.
But
Or Susie.
you even
You
did that
be
in
you.
relationships because I like when I was younger, I felt like not like a teenager, but like in my early 20s, I thought our family was very invasive. Like, but I understand like the importance of the vetting process now. But like, I was like, y'all are all in my business. I didn't ask you what you thought. I didn't ask you what you think about Jeremy.
You
I
definitely
didn't
asked
ask
us.
you what you thought about Sean. But y'all be like, Mommy would be like, I'm not getting a good sense. Daddy would just be like, don't you ever bring that guy on my doorstep ever, ever, ever again.
He doesn't have good intentions.
Like, yeah,
And he wasn't usually wrong.
I don't
He
like
wasn't
this
usually
guy.
wrong.
But Iris, did you want to did you want to mention your song?
Oh yes. So for all of our queens out there, I've had a cute little project that I've been working on with a fellow artist, super talented gentleman. He studied under some of the greatest classical guitarists and composers out there. He is definitely just a phenomenal composer himself, and he can play just about anything under the sun. But we had a really fun time doing a cover of All of Me, and since it's we're in the month of love, I thought it'd be fun to kind of share and premiere this during the month of love. So this is just a quick clip of All of Me with a beautiful, talented artist named Jesse LaRose, if you want to follow him. And Kelly's going to interview us in the future and so you can get a little bit more inside details. But this is a fun one. It's like more of a conversation because we're doing it between English and Spanish. So here's just a quick clip.
Mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
Super quick. So we'll be premiering it this week.
Mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you now.
I said I had an interview. I'll try to share my screen. Maybe you can see it.
Okay. You don't have to. But we'll be premiering it this week. And Kelly's kind enough. She'll be posted on the Kelly, not Kelly Connection, but Queen Talk, and then just my personal IG. So we look forward to hearing your thoughts on it, and hopefully you enjoy it.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, you can't. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you all so much for your time.
I tried. I have to work the kinks out on this one. Sorry. But thank you very much. I might have figured it out.
Okay.
Hold, please.
All right.
Oh no, I'll have to leave the site. We'll figure it out next time. But thank you guys so much, and we would love to leave you with this final rendition of All of Me.
Oh,
Comienzo mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
Oh my god, if I do this, people are gonna think that I'm like freaking like Lori Alred or something. Or Lauren Alred. I'm just gonna sing along. I'm gonna sing along with your voice, and they're gonna think it's me.
Mi victoria y mi reflejo.
You're so
give
Larry.
you all
You're
of
great.
me.
Si
That's pretty
See?
good. That's pretty good.
You
Yep.
see how I
Yep.
did that? That's how she
Yep.
was like, never enough, never, never, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights,
Boom, boom,
all
boom.
the stars we steal from the night sky can never be enough. Never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands can hold the world.
Oh, you're just sing. You were just singing the whole song.
No, I just thought it was
All
funny
right.
because I wanted to be like you. You know.
mi
All right. So
victoria y
on that
mi
note, I'm heading out.
reflejo.
Love you guys.
Give you all
See you next time.
of me.
Si
You see, it looked like me. It looked like I was singing. You got it, guys. All right, I'm having too much fun. I hope you guys have an excellent evening. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.